In C++, it's actually super easy to break your own code without even realizing it. So today, let's talk about a fundamental concept that's like a bodyguard for your data: getters and setters. Trust me, it's the key to writing safer, much more robust programs. Okay, so picture this. You've built this awesome class for a kitchen stove. It's got a temperature attribute, but with one simple, unprotected line of code, anybody using your class can set that temperature to 1,000,000. Now, this isn't just a weird number. It's a state that should be totally impossible, and it can crush everything that relies on it. And look, this isn't just some tiny bug. This kind of thing breaks the entire logic of our program. It makes our objects act in totally unpredictable ways, and it just opens the door for bugs and misuse. So that's the real question, right? How do we build a safer, more solid class that actually protects its own data? So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the root of the problem, public data. Then, we'll build our solution piece by piece, hiding the data, creating a safe way to read it with getters, a controlled way to write to it with setters, and then finally, we'll unleash the power of validation to fix our stove problem for good. All right, let's get right to the root of this whole thing. This entire problem starts with just one little keyword in C++, public. See, when you slap that public keyword on an attribute like temperature, you're basically putting up a sign that says, hey, free for all, come and change me. Any code outside the class can directly see it and change it. There are no rules, no checks, no safety net. It's a completely open door for anyone to walk through and just mess with the guts of our object. So, how do we shut that open door? Well, the first and most important step is to just take away that direct access. And we do that by changing one word and making our data private. And it's crazy simple. All we do is move our temperature attribute from the public section to the private one. And just like that, we've totally changed the game. Now, only the code inside the stove class can touch it. Any attempt to access it from the outside, like we did before, the compiler itself will throw up its hands and say, nope, not allowed, and give you an error. And what we're doing here, this is a huge deal in programming. It's a core idea called encapsulation. We're bundling the data with the methods that work on it, and we're hiding all the nitty-gritty details. By making our data private, we're creating this protective shell, which is the first step towards good abstraction. Okay, so problem solved, right? Well, not quite. We've definitely fixed the whole uncontrolled access thing. Our data is safe, but now we have a brand new problem. The data is completely locked away and useless from the outside. We've built a vault with no door. Okay, so how do we let people see the temperature without letting them mess with it? We need to basically install a one-way window on our vault. And this is where a getter comes into play. A getter is just a simple public function. Its only job is to give read-only access to a private variable. Seriously, think of it as a one-way window. You can look, but you absolutely cannot touch. So what we do is we make this little public method, and we usually name it something like get whatever the variable is, so get temperature. And all it does is return the value of that private temperature variable. Now, other code can't get to temperature directly, but it can call this method to safely see what its value is. It's readable, but, and this is the important part, it's still not writable. Cool. So now we can read the data. But what if we actually need to change it? To do that, but to do it on our terms, we need to build a controlled gateway. And that gateway is the setter. And that's where the setter comes in. Think of it as the official bouncer for your data. Any request to change that private variable has to go through this one function. And because of that, it gives us one single super powerful place where we can enforce all of our rules. And this, right here, this is the whole point. It is all about control. As the person who designed the stove class, you get to decide the laws of physics for your object. You decide what a valid temperature is. And getters and setters are the tools that let you enforce those laws. All right, we got all the parts on the table. Let's assemble this thing and see how a setter finally fixes that crazy 1,000,000 stove problem we started with. So inside that setter function, we can set up a little security checkpoint. First, we take in the new value someone wants to set. Then, and this is the magic part, we check it. Does it meet our rules? Is it in a valid range? If it's not, we handle it. If it is, then and only then do we actually update our private variable. And here it is in action. This is so cool. Inside our set temperature method, we just add an if-else block. If someone tries to set the temperature to a negative number, we can say, nope, we'll just set it to 0. If they try to set it to 1,000,000, our code can check if that's higher than our allowed maximum, let's say 10, and just cap it at 10. We've closed that wide open door and replaced it with a security guard. So look, the big takeaway here is this. Using private data with public getters and setters isn't just about typing more code. It's a fundamental design pattern for building professional applications. It gives you safety, robustness, and makes your code way easier to maintain because you're protecting the integrity of your objects from the inside out. And that leads to a really interesting final thought. Something for you to chew on. If the rest of your program only ever talks to your get and set methods, does it really care how the data is stored on the inside? You could change it from an integer to a float, or maybe even calculate the value every time it's requested. This level of control is the true power of abstraction, and it unlocks a world of possibilities for future-proofing your code.